Yes, indeed. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, outsiders of all ages, we hope you are having a good week. We have hit What Are You Drinking Wednesday. Longhorns getting ready to take on BYU. Chance is rocking some Buffalo Bills gear. They've got a big game tomorrow night. We got a lot of stuff to get into. We've got a great guest coming up at 9:15. We'll let you know about that. We've even got a couple more folks inside the Outsiders tonight, and we're glad about that. Let's get you started by reminding you it's the Outsiders, brought to you in part by Poncho Outdoors. That is Colt Fishing, ladies and gentlemen. PonchoOutdoors.com. All the great gear, long sleeve, short sleeve. I believe our guest enjoys being outside doing some grilling. Fancies himself a bit of a pit master. Not a bad idea to go grab some poncho gear to make sure you're good outside, because it's got some great SPF content to it. It'll block that sun. PonchoOutdoors.com. All right, first and foremost, we want to say get well to our man Jason Dick tonight. A little bit under the weather. He is not on the show, and the rumor is not true. He is not missing the show because Bo's son beat the hell out of him. That is not true. He is just feeling a little bit under the weather.
Blake, I think there's video of what happened to Jason. Yeah, there it is.
Do we have? Oh, wow. Wow. Okay. That is.
That looks like the Kurt Angle ankle lock or something. I don't know. I'm not a huge wrestling guy. Chad, you probably know the name of this move.
That is distinct. We will get into exactly what that is a little later. That's fantastic. So we hope Jason gets better.
This is not the house divided, Blake.
That is right. Oh, that too. Oh, there it is. Beautiful.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate you.
You know what? What that is. Quarterback just learning things at the line of scrimmage. Read things perfectly. And well done. That's why we need him here. Your upper left is Chance Mock. Chance, what are we drinking on a Wednesday?
It's a What You Drinking Wednesday. We're doing El Tiquilino with water and a little bit of lime. It's beautiful. It's always good.
Very nice. There it is. Your lower right voice of the people. It's Chris Abbott rocking the 45s hat in solidarity for his Astros, even though they are out of the playoffs. That is a strong fan right there. Mr. Abbott, what are you drinking?
I'm fresh back from Sin City with the youth of America. I am having a glass of iced tea, a sad glass of iced tea for my Astros.
Could you at least put some vodka in there?
He just told you where he'd been.
Hey, you know where I just got back from the place.
Hey, if there's one city you have to recover.
A bunch of 11-year-olds, you didn't do shit.
Hey, look, there was games on, and when we weren't playing, there was other things going down.
Hey, when you hit that city, you do have to recover. So I understand. Your lower left tonight is the Country Gorilla. It's Bo Edge. Bo, what are we drinking?
It's Wednesday night brown water. Come on now.
Yes. You know what? For me too, it's Wednesday night brown water. Since I've been feeling just a tad bit under the weather, I'm going with some brown water. I put a little honey in there. They say to put honey in it, right? For the throat. Yeah. Is that supposed to be good?
Absolutely.
Money shot right there, Chad.
Oh, that's actually lovely. By the end of that glass, I'll know exactly what Malik Murphy should do to beat BYU. I will get that feeling. We'll talk a bit about that today. And our guest at 9:15 is Cedric Griffin. That's right. We'll talk about the defensive side of the ball, obviously, since it's Cedric Griffin and he's a badass defensive player. But we'll talk about this team as a whole. Chance and Cedric Griffin will get caught up. We'll see what they get into tonight. That's coming up at 9:15. But first off, let's just start with some good news, fellas. Do you have your Ryan Wingo smile on tonight? Out of nowhere, a bit of a surprise for some, although I don't think Bo was shocked by it. In September, the thought was Ryan Wingo was ready to commit to Texas, but it looked like today's announcement might be leaning the other way to Missouri. But during the shows today, in fact, during House Divided, the 12-3 time, we talked a lot about it, and there were more and more indications that maybe Texas was feeling pretty good. By the end of it, Ryan Wingo, 5-star out of St. Louis, has committed to the Longhorns. So that's 2 5-stars in the class, Colin Simmons, obviously, and Ryan Wingo. Bo, how excited are you today?
Oh, I think it's great. But to parallel your point, you're going to start seeing this a lot at a lot of schools where guys are wishy-washy right till the end.
There it is.
In a world of NIL, if your deal was $500K and you're not signing for another, let's say 3 months, and everybody's coming at you, you kind of play the game a little more, and you make everybody, and you tell recruiting sites, hey, I'm thinking I'm going this way, and then that gets out there. And next thing you know, the offer comes through, $600K, and then you go back. This is going to become a trend where guys are going to play the game a little more because, as Chris's shirt says, it's straight cash.
Yeah, no doubt. Chris, big time recruit though, and if it sticks, that'll be huge for Texas.
Yeah, I think it's great. I think it's great. I don't, when as it comes to the recruiting stuff, I kind of, I'm in and out. I read some things online, but yeah, that was huge. It was a shock to me. I was sitting there selling some cars down at Covert Ford on 183 today, and that came across my text message. So, yeah, super excited about that guy. And like you said, I hope it sticks. But we'll see. But yeah, absolutely, huge get.
And Chance, you've talked about it. I know from your days, and Cedric Griffin could speak to it a little later. When you are a badass 5-star and you see those badass 5-stars start to stack up in a particular place, it does get your attention.
Well, that's where you want to go, right? You want to go where you can do something great. And I think a lot of those guys, and Seth will talk about this, he came a little bit later than me, but we were still in the rebuilding phase. And when you can go to a school like the University of Texas, the flagship, like we've talked about this, it doesn't matter if we're home or away. Our jersey says Texas. Right. That is what we are. And when you can go somewhere like that with the history that Texas has had, and you can grow the brand even farther, I'm really impressed that he's coming, but I don't think NIL is as much as Bo is putting on it. The difference in 600,000 and 700,000 or whatever is not as big. He was looking at Missouri. Let's talk about that for a little bit. It was between Texas and Missouri.
Supposedly Missouri was doing all right in terms of the NIL battle. I don't think they had as much as
my
Texas.
point wasn't on Wingo specifically. My point was the way he hemmed and hawed throughout the last couple of weeks, and people didn't know and people were undecided. You're going to see that in the recruiting world a lot because people are going to use it as a leverage point to get more money. You already saw it when a guy like Xavier Worthy thought about entering the transfer portal, and 2 days later he's driving a Lambo. These things correspond. The ones that are smart are going to play the game to maximize it. And Chance,
and they should.
It's Texas versus Missouri, and I've been telling everybody for 3 months, and I'm not a recruiting guru. If you're choosing between those two, you're gonna go to the school that can pay you more. You're going to go to the school that can build your profile more, and you're going to go play for Quinn, Malik, Arch, and not some jack off at Missouri. This was predetermined.
Wow, man, team's only lost one game. I don't think their quarterback's that. Jeez.
Well,
I know, Chad, but let's talk about this for a minute because I think it's important. Money is money, and they're going to get their money. And they need to go get their money. Let's be honest. Most of them are not going to make it to the next level. That's just a fact. And so they need to make their money when they can get it. But Texas A&M, you go there and you have a job for life because Aggies are really freaking good at taking care of each other. You go to the University of Texas, you can do whatever you want to do because there's a ton of people that are going to do it. You go to LSU, you go to Alabama, you're not going to Missouri. That it was a joke from the beginning. He wasn't going to go to Missouri. It was a leverage point. That's all it was.
I don't know about that. It's a St. Louis kid. Right now, I don't think it's crazy to think, considering they're putting up some decent numbers. They got a badass receiver with 20 more catches than Worthy right now. Is it that crazy to think that a 5-star from St. Louis might want to go to Missouri?
Oh, maybe. It has to be in consideration with his family and all those things. But we were joking about it when we were talking about instant replay at U of H. Missouri's not that much bigger than U of H. Who wants, if you have the choice to go play and I'm not saying this specific to Texas. It works for A&M. It works for Alabama, LSU, any of the heavy hitters. Who would rather go play for 105,000 screaming, or 43,000 with rickety freaking bench seats? You're going to want to go where the place screams excellence, not where it screams commuter school or small state school. And I'm this isn't Missouri specific or U of H specific or anything like that. But we are seeing an era where Cars matter. Money matters. Well, guess what? Facilities matter. Prestige matters. Profile matters a hell of a lot more than it did. And, when things were romanticized in the 60s, 70s, 80s, like tradition mattered and legacy mattered. That's not what the Instagram world is looking at. It's what can you do for me today?
Yeah, he also mentioned national championships today. It was asked kind of why Texas, and he said he thought it was a better opportunity to win a national title. Obviously, moving forward, it is a stacked up 16-team SEC with no divisions. So Missouri has played for that SEC title twice, but it was in this format, not in the one that they're going to have later on. By the way, somebody just threw in a nice little reference to an Austin legend here. Nathan says, anyone just go to Pluckers, get some Wingos for dinner. There you go, Nathan. Well done. Well done. 5-star Ryan Wingo did commit to Texas today. All right, so we got like 2-3 minutes here before Cedric Griffin comes on. Chance, give me a quick thought on Texas BYU. What do you want to see Sark do for Malik Murphy to make him comfortable in this first quarter?
I want him to let Malik be Malik. And that is the most important thing to me. Like, as a quarterback, I want to be let loose. Let me go do my thing. Malik is not the same quarterback that Quinn Ewers is. You're not going to dink and dunk with him. Let him go be Malik. And for everybody that says he's not a running quarterback, go watch his high school highlights. The kid can run. I don't give a shit what anybody says. The dude is athletic. He is big. He is strong. Let him be him. So the best thing that Sark can do for me, don't baby him. Let him go do what he does best. Throw the ball downfield. Extend the coverage. Make DBs run with our wide receivers. That's the thing we didn't do last week at Houston, and it really drove me up a wall. I didn't get to talk about it yesterday, and it pissed me off, but we didn't spread that defense out. Malik can do that. Let Malik be Malik. I think the kid is freaking phenomenal, and I think it's fantastic. He's going to get his opportunity to go show what he can do, and this is a great opportunity. We're playing BYU. They are terrible. I just got done watching BYU and Texas Tech. I watched it again right before this game. Right before we got on the chat, and they're just a bad football team. Let Malik be good. Let him go out there, and I don't care if we have a quarterback controversy. Go do it.
All right, Texas and BYU. Remember, it's a 2:30 kick this week for Texas and BYU. All right, Bo, let's get a little engaged vacations here, and then we'll work our way towards Cedric Griffin. Tell people about, one of the best things in life, a vacation.
Vacations are great, but when vacations are not great is when you get to your resort and you don't know what restaurant to go to. You don't know what excursion to book. You don't know what resort to pick because you went online and found the best deal. No. Get with experts, like the experts that Engage Vacations. The phone number is 922-3322, but just scan the QR code. It'll take you right to their website. Caribbean, Fiji, all the places in Mexico, Cancun, Cozumel, Puerto Vallarta, wherever you want to go, they can get you set up. And the thing that they do that's better than just about anybody else that does this is they actually go to these locations and not to party and not to drink a lot or do those things, but to sample the menus. Let them help you. Tell them what food you like. They'll book the reservations. They'll get you your dream vacation. Take the stress out of it. Engage Vacations.
All right. Last Stand likes to bring in our people. Cedric Griffin, my man, joining us tonight. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing good, brother. What's going on?
Man, we just living up here. We're talking about a little bit of football, a little bit of fun. I want to get right into it, Ced.
Mm-hmm.
You went to the highest level, and you excelled at the highest level. Not just went there, you excelled. You look at this Texas team on defense, and I was frustrated this weekend. I was real frustrated. They didn't make any adjustments throughout the whole game. You were a physical quarterback. You played hard. What can you say about this defense that they can do to step that game up?
Well, I'll first have to say, I mean, I think they're doing a good job, overall. But what needs to stay up is the intensity, right? That needs to be consistent. So, you come out the box hot, the first game, everybody swarming to the ball. The Alabama game, everybody swarming to the ball. That needs to stay alive throughout all the games, no matter who you're playing, no matter the competition, no matter what player is on the other side. Y'all always need to play. Well, they always need to play like with their head on fire, right? They just need to be flying around to the ball. And then personally, right, I'm a corner. I like pressing. But specifically when I'm watching these games, right, and when I'm watching it's third down and it's like 5 yards or 6 yards or 7 yards, and I got corners that's playing 10 yards, 11 yards off, I mean, that's third down. That's money down. That's get up down. Everyone knows, hey, go down and press. That's what you need to be doing. In my eyes, make it difficult on a quarterback to understand the coverage. You playing press man, you come out and go to zone, or you can stay on them, or you play two out of it. So it's a disguise look as well as just getting your hands on being disruptive. So the intensity side of it, people flying around to the ball, and the DBs need to come up and start pressing. They need to start going over press tech and getting in the lab and just getting at it, because they're long, they're lengthy, they're agile out there, right? They're athletes. They're really good looking athletes. So, go up there and press. They got some big corners out there, man. That's what they should be doing for sure.
So when we watch go back to the OU game, that last drive, I mean, I'm in the stadium, I'm with my son, and I could think about you and Nate Vasher and Huff and Griffin and all you guys, and we were playing 12, 14 yards off the ball. Like we're giving them stuff. I don't understand. To me, when you got the better athlete,
right,
you go play with them. Like, hey, if you beat me, you beat me.
Yep.
If you don't, like, I'm a win, right?
Right. And that's so the same mentality, right? That's what I believe in. I believe the coach needs to prepare the guys throughout the week and putting them in those positions throughout practice. So when they get to the game, they can adjust and they can kind of be ready for those plays. But I mean, when it's crunch time, you want your best players against your best players. That's the end of that story. And then you want to challenge the guy. You want to go down there and challenge. You don't want to make it easy and play off. And you just want to give your quarterback another opportunity at the end of the day. So putting your corners in press technique, making the offense, making the other quarterback think about where he wants to go for the ball, or identify where he's gonna go with the ball before pre-snap. It makes it a little bit more tougher. So that's kind of my insight, man. That's what I believe. That's when I'm watching them games. That's what I see on TV. It makes me it kind of it gets me disappointed that they're not playing true man like Texas should be, because they got the best athletes, in the land.
Well, and I'll be honest, I had more fun at practice going up against you guys one-on-one. We used to do one-on-ones, bro. That was the most fun to me in the world, because that was like being back in high school. We're having fun. It's you versus him. Like, I'm gonna beat you, and I feel like we've gotten away from that. Like all over. Yeah. We've gotten away from just, hey, let's play man to man. Let's see who's the best man out there.
And Chance, check this out. So like that's like a culture deal, right? That's something, that's an environment that your coaches put you in. And I give a lot of credit, to the coaches that we had, from 01 all the way, to whenever Matt Brown left, right? But we used to have that, I think it was, I'm not sure what it was called, but it's at the end of practice where Coach Brown used to put us against one another and just challenge one another to see who gets on the ground first, just by wrestling. So like keeping competition in season all year round, just doing things that's gonna make you, kind of hungry for excitement and for violence on the football field. That's what you need. You need to keep that alive. You need to keep that spirit going in season, not just off season. Off season spirit is great. I mean, that's everyone feels strong. Everyone's competing. Then we get to the season, it kind of relaxes. It goes back to just, hey, let's execute X, Y, and Z. Let's go over cover two. So they need to continue to ignite and inject competition in season with those players, doing one-on-ones, doing tackling drills, just getting the players ready, getting them excited to play football, man. And because again, right, they're getting 5 stars, they're getting 4 stars. I mean, those are talented players. Now you just need to go and put the rest on, like everyone's saying these days, right? Put that dog in them. I mean, because you can actually do that. You put enough good players around people, they start to compete, especially if they're dogs, right? They start to really compete, and they're out there one bone, you know. At the end of the day, that starting spot. So you got to make them feel threatened, you know.
I love hearing you say that, Sed, because to me, like I look back at it. You said the word vicious. That is what football is. Football's a vicious sport, and I feel like in some ways, both the NCAA and the NFL are kind of pulling away. Like there was a roughing the passer call on Jalen Hurts this weekend that I was blown away by. Like it was not a roughing the passer. Like Wilkins pushed him. Like that's not roughing the passer. And so we've gotten away from that. But this is a vicious sport. Like that's what it's supposed to be.
It's violent. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, and people are trying to take that out of the game, and then it makes it difficult for for players to kind of really adjust and understand what is football, again. And when you put all that thinking inside of a player, it goes down here real quick. You got players pulling up, you got players not really showcasing what they're really all about, because that may be a player's game is intimidation, and intimidation is hitting people and getting them out the game and stuff like that. So like that's football, that's part of football. And in a way, yes, they're taking some of that out of the game and taking those players out of the game. So everyone's not a ball hawk, right? Everyone doesn't knock off fumbles, right? Everyone is just, they're not great tacklers, but some of them may be great hitters. Some of them may be just mean, and they got a reputation for that. So you got to deal with that, and that's what's football, beforehand. But over the course of time, it's changing.
So tell me this, Ed, because I will say for everybody watching right now, I'm going to say one of the things that I admire most about you is that you have always been a deep thinker. Like even when we were driving in my truck and, I was helping you move into your apartment, like always thought deep about not just football, but life in general. Like you're a thinker. That's what you do. But I feel like the game itself is being robbed because we sign up to play this game. I'm a quarterback. I want somebody to come hit me. Like that's why we play the game. We're gladiators in the arena, and we signed up for it. And all these bullshit ass freaking penalties have taken away. If I run at you and I decide at the last minute I'm gonna slide, how are you supposed to run at me to make a tackle, and then all of a sudden I slide and you make a hit? Well, what if I don't slide? Right.
It's so many variables in there. I every time I watch football, I'm always thinking like, if I was in the game, how would I tackle these cats? And that's, I mean, for me not to get fined. I mean, I listen. I be putting the people out, man, because I'm going for those ankles and I'm going for those knees, because like that's the safest spot for me, not to get fined, not to get a reputation, and then at the end of the day, knock them down quick. So, and then that's just not. I think that's unfair. I think two guys matching up, they need to go head up. They need to stay up, and they need to come across the chest. That's just how I feel about football. I don't believe in hitting people on the ankles. Even back in the day, man, when a receiver used to cut block, I couldn't stand that. I'm like, man, y'all chicken shits, get up and like try to push me down or try to take me out with your hands, like by pushing me or something like that. But they used to always try to cut me, and I couldn't stand that. So like, I'm all about staying up high, man, and finding that leverage, finding that sweet spot, and coming with power, and then bringing that speed and figuring everything else out later at the end of the day. So that's football, man.
So I want to ask you about, I mean, I've gotten into it with Emmanuel. I know you kind of went back and forth a little bit. If you don't want to talk about it, it's fine.
Oh, yeah.
But, I think the post that he made, I think it was off base. and I think it was wrong. And I'm not a big fan of what he posted. We disagree on a lot of stuff that he says on his show, but I mean, he's a good dude. He's been like whatever. But I mean, is there anything you want to say about that?
You talking about the Caleb situation, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, this in my, again, in my opinion, I'm speaking from my opinion and my experience and just what I see and think. But football is football, man. Football is being robbed. Obviously, I mean, it's been taken over because of money. And to go back, I'm gonna come back to your question real quick, but like going back to what you said about just you're a quarterback and all these fines. It's just it's a money play, man. Like they don't, NFL owners are getting paid for their star players to be in the stadium, and then people come to watch those star players, or they want their jerseys to sell. So like it's a money trap everywhere at the end of the day. So like they have to take, I guess protect their assets, which is the football players or the basketball players, and that's what it comes down to. It's becoming such a money sport. On its way to be $1 trillion sport at the end of the day, right? It's $1 billion sport now, but it's going at a way to where it's money involved, and when it's money involved, powerful people are involved, and it goes from there. But going back on the Caleb situation, I don't think no one should be thinking about just trying to pack it up and leave and worry about self and worry about the the league, man. Like money is money. Like we got to get out of that habit of so focused on money. If you do something passionately and you do it with with heart and grind and work ethic, like you're gonna get what you're gonna get. That is what it is. It's gonna come to you because you're being faithful to your work. But no, he needs to lead his men at the end of the day. Like he signed up to be a quarterback for USC. I wouldn't dare have to take or would even advise that guy to try to stop playing and just worry about the next level. Like you got other guys that's looking up to you, man. Possibly you got other little kids that's literally watching him, play and perform, buying his jersey. So yeah, like for him to say that, like he's not looking out for the college athlete and his mom, Manuel, I'm talking, and him and his whole family. They're all about the education side of everything. So staying in school is always the best option. I mean, if you think about it, the quarterbacks who stay in school the longest, who graduate, four-year quarterback, they're having kind of the most success in the league at the end of the day, just because they're seeing that system, they understand the system, they're getting coverages, they're getting groomed by good quarterback coaches. So you need that knowledge, you need hours. I always tell my son this, and this is the last thing I say about it, but I always tell my son that in order to be good at something, you got to master something. And I don't know the right number. What I always told him, man, you need at least 10,000 hours, man, for you just to be able to master that, that craft that you're doing, to say that you're damn good at it. And until then, like you still need to come to work. We still got to put work in. And that's what I feel about Caleb, right? He still need work. I mean, he's out there freelancing everything, and he just really is, because he knows he can throw the ball. So he needs to continue to just stay in school as long as he can. Get that tutelage from Lincoln, from Cliff over there as well. And just learn, and don't worry about the money, man. Don't worry about that bag like everyone on the media is talking about. Just hone in your skills, because you got potentially 10, 15 years if you're projected to be as good as you are, right? You got that length of time to just continue to just work on and get money at the end of the day. So it shouldn't be about money ever.
But you said something there that I think it's important, and I think most kids don't understand it. It was something that I grasped a hold of. I know you grasped a hold of. Is mastering something, right? Like that was my thing. Like I'm gonna master this, and then once I get that mastered, I'll move on to something else. And it feels like sometimes right now, all these kids, they just want to do everything at once. And I'm like, you can't do everything at once. Just figure out something and be great at that, and then we'll move to the next thing. You know what I mean?
Oh, I totally know what you mean, man. I like I say, man, I got a junior in school right now and a sophomore that's playing, and and I tell them all the time, man, we gotta, this athletic journey that you're on right now, it takes time. It's steps, and you gotta train. You gotta learn. You gotta research, and they want to see development, and it doesn't happen overnight. You gotta stay in. You gotta stay in the lab, and you gotta continue to work on your craft over and over and over and over. And that's the only way that you're gonna really go achieve those dreams that you want to do. And right, everyone's dreams looks different. So I'm not speaking for everybody, but I know when you sign up to play football, I know ultimately everyone wants to go play in the league so they can be seen on TV and their mama can talk about it and all that good stuff. So when you sign up to play football, you're trying to go to the league. And you're trying to go to the league, you need to soak up all type of information. And especially if you're highly talented, that's when you really need to soak in all the information so you can start playing above the net. And that's my whole thing with Emmanuel, with Caleb situation is, nah, he needs to stay. He needs to stay engaged. He don't need to think about anything else.
Man, I know when you first got to campus, I fell in love with you when you first got there because I knew from the moment I met you, and you won't even remember this, the first time I met you when you walked on campus, you're like, I'm here to dominate. That's what you said. And I was like, this motherfucker right here, this is my dog. I like this guy. And you did. And you went on to do what you said you were going to do. And I mean, I think it didn't culminate in the hit, but the hit at Ohio State, knocking the ball loose, was such a big moment for Texas fans. I mean, for me, as a guy that had played with you for the last 3 years before that, and I'm watching it on TV, and I'm standing up, and I'm like, "That's my dog right there. That's my dog." And he just shit out. And
that's what's up.
But for most kids, they look at these players. VY, said Benson, all of these guys, they look at me like, I want to be that guy. But I don't know that they understand the work that goes into being that guy. I think most people think you just wake up and you're that dude. You work all the freaking time.
Yeah, it does not stop, man. And that's honest. Once I found out that I was good at something, and that was back, when I started playing football when I first moved to Texas. And it was on from there, I tried to, and I tell stories all the time. Like I ran to practice, I walked to practice, I had my shoulder pads on, my helmet on, I walking down highways just to get to practice. I wanted to work, man, and because like you said, I wanted to dominate and I wanted to be good and I wanted to always start. And that was my thing for me. Like my thing for me was like I'm gonna be a starter no matter where I'm at. Like I'm gonna make sure I do what I need to do to start. And that was my motivation, like throughout everything that I did. Honestly, man, I don't know where that came from or what that was all about, but I did not want to be on no bench, man. I did not want to not be able to be playing, cause I was so active, I was so just hyper and moving around all the time. So I had to be in the mix, had to. So that's kind of how that went down, man. It's just like football is good, man, and it's a routine. So it's something that you got to set up and that you just got to be about. And if you want any type of success, man, like long-term success, if you will, right? You gotta work that craft, man. That's the only thing I can tell you. It is, man. It's a 20, a 20-hour, type of deal, man. You need 6 hours of rest, man. I take 6 hours for sure. I'm just resting, but other than that, the other 20 hours, you're thinking about it, you're preparing for it, you're eating for it, your mindset is on it, and you're just trying to go get it because it is true, man. I really believe it. Like you got to speak it, man. You got to speak it into existence, and it happens. That's just it is what it is with that, man. I don't know what spiritual being or the power or whatever you want to call it, man. It's just when you speak stuff and you honestly believe what you're saying, it tends to happen, man.
Man, that's what DJ used to do all the time. DJ, I mean, with his lisp and everything else, Derek Johnson used to say, I'm going to be the best all the time. And I mean, Look what he turned into. Hey, I want to press the crew in real quick because I know they will ask you a bunch of questions. So, guys, Cedric Griffin, the man, the myth, the legend.
Yes, absolutely. Cedric, we appreciate the time tonight. Chris Abbott, throw something at Cedric Griffin.
What's up, Ced? How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good, brother. What's going on?
Oh, not much. Hey, man, I'm going to take you back a minute. I was at the this is going back, I believe it was your senior year. My dad coached at Westlake High School, and y'all played that game down at Southwest Texas. I believe it was maybe the fourth round of the playoffs.
Yeah. Okay. You see my high school then.
Yeah, a hell of a game when you were at home. Yeah, that game went back and forth. But anyway, just a hell of a game. I remember watching you play both sides of the ball. You played wide receiver, and then obviously defensive back. But
I really appreciate it, man.
Yeah, fun game. But hey, man, listen. So I wanted to kind of pick your brain a little bit. I have an 11-year-old that he's a baseball guy, but I know there's probably not a lot of kids on the show. But for the dads out there watching, what do you kids, there's a lot of kids that put in the hours and they spend time, whether it's weight room or on the track or, working on their craft on the field, catching balls, whatever it is. But there's another talent to be able to take that and put it on the field. As far as a mindset, what did you do to take that work and put it out on the field and pretty much just know that when you got out there, you were going to dominate? And because I think a lot of kids have a problem doing that. Are they taking that skill to the field?
Well, I don't know if they have a problem with it or they haven't been exposed to what they need. And what I mean by it is that they need reps. Right. I tell this story all the time too, man. I tell about my sons, man. Like I tell coaches and trainers that I put them in front of, like they need reps. Like, we need physical reps. And we need mental reps, to understand when it's game time that we can just start reacting. Like lifting weights is great, perfect, good. It prevents injuries, right? It gets your mentality strong to kind of be a badass and think you're strong going out there, right? Doing the drills is really, really helpful as well because it puts you in pattern to what you're gonna be doing in the game. But whatever sport they are playing, right? They need to go over that route. That drive to the goal, those jump shots, that hip swing for baseball, or going to the back wall and jumping up and catching the ball. Those things need to be like routinely done every day. And Joe Woods, my defensive back coach at the Minnesota Vikings, right? He always had the term of EDDs, right? Everyday drills, right? Those are things that you need to be doing every single day. That's going to simulate the game. So if you can figure out how to simulate a practice that looks like a game, and then you just get those reps over and over and over. And then when you go into the field, that's where you're confident. You know the play, right? You've seen it, you watched it, you repped it, you went over it, you had someone, run that slant or, hit the ball in left field and you go down and run and catch it. But it's the mind, right? Everything starts in the mind, man. Like once you can see it, envision it, think about it, do it, talk about it, then you see yourself making those plays in a game. I don't know when it was either, but I heard something a long time ago about Michael Jordan and sports psychology, and that's what he used to do for all of his games. So I think that stuck in my head a little bit too, of just kind of confirming that, hey, it is all about the game. It is about the mind. It's a mind game out there, man, for everything. So that'd be my biggest takeaway is keep lifting weights, man, right? Keep doing the running, keep doing all that, but that's gonna help you prevent injuries, which is great. But you need to be in simulated plays that's gonna look like the game that you're actually doing. So when you go to that actual real game, you have those reps already, and you can kind of pull from those reps in your brain, and just go to work at it. So that's hard to do as well, right? Because it takes time, to do all that, and it's a commitment. And high school kids, a lot of little kids are just not committed. Sometimes some parents are not committed, but it's a lot, man. Sports is a lot, and I'm not saying the great ones are the good ones, right? But there are ones, man, that just find a way just to do stuff on their own, and they just get it done. And you don't know when they're getting it done, but they're getting it done somewhere. And that's just a talent that that's just hidden inside of some people, and it just goes. So sometimes you gotta just let it play out. Sometimes you can put drills in front of them, but at the end of the day, we call that the it factor, right? Some kids just have it. That's it.
And don't ever forget, said, what did Daryl Royal say? If you have to ask what it is,
Yeah,
you don't know what it is.
Yeah, straight up, you don't know what
You
it
probably
is.
don't have it. Boaz, you got something for Ced Griffin?
Well, kind of along the lines that he was talking about, and the easy question would be asking about receivers in the NFL and who did this or who did that. But I want to go to the other side. Which quarterback did you face off against, or quarterbacks that read the line better? That y'all had something dialed up, a corner blitz or something, and you got Peyton Manning going, said G's coming, and ruining the play before it starts. Who were the quarterbacks that just pissed you off?
Man, it's hard. I mean, it's only one person, and I'd say, I mean, honestly, and nothing against the Manning brothers, but
You can say me. You can say me. It's fine.
The Manning brothers. I mean, they wouldn't. The thing about them was, as long as you can hold your disguise, you could trick them. Like they couldn't. I mean, they were really really good at just like identifying one person, because they probably studied the film so much that they understood everybody's movements. So if one person will move in our secondary, they would know our defense. So like we used to always, for the Mannings, we used to always kind of wait till like 5 seconds to move if we were disguising. But from once that play clock started, we stayed like in a cross look and just stayed there. And we made life difficult for those two players. So the only guy I'm gonna tell you, man, is freaking Tom Brady. And I don't like saying his name because like he always gets the glory for every damn thing, but it's him. I mean, I'm just honest. I mean, honest. It was him, man. Like we couldn't do nothing when we played him. Like he figured everything out. And I don't know how he did it. And he every game he played, he's always done that. So he knows something that no one else knows, and he's not telling anyone either.
He's a Michigan man. He learned under Harbaugh. They had a fan in the stand recording the play sheets in advance. That's how Brady did it.
Harbaugh. There, I said it twice.
Oh my goodness.
That's what it
was. It was Brady, man, and he was just really good, man. He was really good. He understood everything, you know.
What do you think? As a Vikings guy, I'm a big fan of Kirk Cousins. I think he's one of the most underrated quarterbacks in the NFL. I think he's been completely overlooked by a lot of people, and he's really good at what he does. But I mean, he is without him, the Vikings don't have a team. I mean, that's just my own personal opinion. What do you think?
So I like Kurt. I'm a big fan of Kurt. I'll be honest with you. I was with him his rookie year. So I seen him as a rookie and got to know him really well because he was a scout team quarterback. So the thing about Kurt is he's always made good plays, but then I'm not saying it's him, but someone on his team always makes a bad play too, and then it just culminates and it just looks bad for Kurt. So I'm trying to give Kurt some love, honestly, because he is a good quarterback, man. His numbers show it, but he has that. He always does something in the game that just, this is why are you doing it, Kurt? So it's I don't know, man. It's like that. Like that does it like 3 times a game. Kurt does it like once a game.
Well, so, Josh does it like twice a game. So
yeah,
who that, Josh?
There's a Cowboys fan nodding. Cowboys fan nodding to the 3. Yes. Some games you're being nice with 3, Mr. Griffin. You're being a little nice with the 3.
Yes, I am. I know I'm in Texas, so I'm trying to keep the favor.
You can be a Bills fan. It's okay.
He doesn't need to be a Bills fan. Stop that.
I'm a 49ers fan all day long, man.
No, jeez. No,
everybody that comes on the show is a 49ers fan.
I was a 49ers fan from 10 years old, but then when Kyle was his head coach, I'm a damn 49ers fan then.
Yeah.
You can't root against Kyle. Come on.
Can't.
Hey, Cedric, I just got one quick one for you. Chance mentioned some of the badasses that you played with at Texas back in that defensive backfield at safety. Give me one in the pros, though. Do you have like who's the best badass safety you got to play with that made you look good, made the defense look good, and you knew you were in good hands if he's out there with you? Let
me see. Man. Well, honestly, Dwight Smith. Does that ring a bell with anybody?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dwight Smith. He played for Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I think he won
Yeah.
Super Bowl over there. And then he came over with the Vikings. Dwight, he was, Dwight was Dwight. But the dude was so bright and smart, man. It's ridiculous. So he always put you in position. I was a rookie, and then I think I played with him, my second year and third year. But I learned so much from him my rookie year of just needing to learn and continue to be more above the neck thinking.
Right.
He always was in the right spot, man. So he was just a badass safety, and he came up and hit you. So I really enjoyed playing with him, like without a doubt. So
Yeah,
I
like
think Dwight Smith for sure.
Like that.
So said, I mean, we're going long here, and I do appreciate you spending the time with us. But just for people watching, to be an NFL DB, I mean, you played at the highest level, and you were freaking good. You were great in college, and I had a blast playing against you at practice. I knew that no matter what I did, I went on Saturdays. I was going to play against guys that were not as good as the guys I played on, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. But if you're talking to a kid, what do you tell that kid? How do they prepare to get to the next level?
Well, again, that's easy for me to say. But the number one thing that I tell kids, because I train kids now, a lot of youth kids, and the number one thing is develop a routine. That's the number one thing I think is going to set you apart and just give you kind of a head start in getting ready for college, because you have school and you have football practice. You got school, you got football practice, and you got more school, and you got more football practice. That's all you're doing. And it's important to kind of figure out like how much time you need for each one of those. Well, for school for sure. And football, you already know your schedule, but just being on time, being prepared, meaning like eating the right foods. Okay, so that goes inside that routine. Make sure I'm eating the right things. Make sure I'm getting the right sleep. Making sure that I'm already thinking like the next level, the college level or the pro level. Make sure I'm watching film. Okay, making sure that I'm going over my plays, in work versus scout team, and not just kind of slow playing, right? But getting full reps in practice, full speed reps is what I'm trying to say, right? Don't just go through the motions when you're in practice. Go full speed. I got complimented a lot by going full speed, having tremendous effort, and I really believe in my heart that that's why I got drafted, as high as I did, because my 40 times like a 4.5, 4.51, something like that. So I wasn't blazing fast, but I had really good, decent speed. But
I was faster than you, and I'm white.
Oh, that's rude.
But I think effort goes a long way, into succeeding. So having a routine and being effortless about it, like just make sure that you're always doing the same thing over and over and over. And I always talk about this, it's just about being disciplined, man. Just stay doing the same thing over and over and over until you master it, until you're really good at it. And once you get really good at it, man, you'll be surprised how you just want to just dive deep into something and just give it all and give it your all. So that would be my answer, man. Is have a routine, develop yourself a routine, and stay in that routine, and have that routine based and centered around school and your sports, and that's it. And stay away from everything else, because I'm telling you, you're gonna have a long time to kind of get down and have fun. So that high school fun is great, man, but if you do it right, that other fun is a lot better.
Well, this will be my last one, and then Chad can take it from here. But Cedric, I always, from the time you stepped on campus, I admired you, because
I appreciate that, Jan. You're making that known today, and I appreciate that, man. You're speaking highly of me, man. That's good. I think I have good character too, though. So it's all right.
I did, because I knew that guy on my team, he's going to lock it down. He's good. But I also knew that when we went out and competed at practice, I knew I was getting the best reps because I'm playing against you. and I had a lot of respect for you as a DB. I wanted to beat your ass. Don't get me wrong. And most times I did, just to be honest.
Here he goes. Here he goes.
But
you know, there's still film and tape over there. All you gotta do is go ask. All you gotta do is go ask for it.
I think that was
all you gotta do is go ask for it.
I know. I think I was like probably a 96% completion rate against you. I don't know.
Hey, that you probably was. You know, Tim. Good for you, man.
There's
That's
a
good.
decimal missing. I think you meant 9.6, not 96. 9.6 completion.
That's right. But said, as somebody that I respect tremendously, somebody that I think you look at the world different than most people do. Most people are very myopic. You've always looked at the world from a 30,000 foot view, and you've had an impact on my life just watching and listening to the things you talk about. When you look at this Texas team, they've had 2 rough weeks in a row. What would you say to those kids if you were in the locker room today?
One, we gotta. Honestly, we gotta play up to our level. I mean, that's one. So, anytime we do step on the field, we gotta be that recruit that them people recruited us as, right? We gotta be that highlight tape that everyone is showing, and we gotta go out there and just be badasses, man. Like, and honestly, man, like no slight to the offense, right? But it always starts on defense, man. Like, someone has to go out there and just like literally, and excuse me, right? Just lay the fucking wood on somebody. Excuse me again, right? But someone has to just make some contact and let that contact go all game and be relentless, and that's what it needs to be like. When people play you, they want to be like, oh, okay, we're in for a long night, or oh shit, we know they coming for our head. Like, that's the mentality that you need on defense, and then your offense just kind of picks that up. Like, then they start being badass, because we know the offense is, they're kind of the softies, but they're good, But defense is all about just getting in your face, just trying to be mean, and that's what I would tell them guys, man. I'd be like, man, just go out there and start being mean, like just start being edgy, like be really, really close to getting flags.
Just be assholes.
At the end of the day, that's kind of what that is, man. Like, on the field, you gotta have a different personality. I don't care what's going on in your life. Like, when you get on the white lines, like, everything, you gotta forget about everything that's going on and just be a total asshole. Like I said, just be somebody different. And that's on you have the opportunity to do that on defense, right? Because you can kind of play a little free. You don't have a whole lot of plays to kind of remember. So that's why I say, man, it starts on defense to change the attitude of games. And you see, man, when a big hit is made, or when a pick is made, or when a tackle for loss is made, or a sack is made, the crowd loves it, right? The offense gets excited. So it's we just need to start playing with our hair on fire, okay? And we need to go out there and lay some guys down. Like, that'll be my message, man. I'd be like, I would get the DBs together and the linebackers and the D line together, man. And I'd be like, we need to lay somebody down. That's just the point right there. Like, in the beginning of the game, we got to go lay somebody down. And on kickoffs, I know they're kicking the ball out these days, and they're letting it go. And
hey, but light somebody's ass up, right?
Staying for a catch, all that, right? But as you're running down that field, like, go blow somebody up, because that's fair game. Like, I took pride in freaking kickoff. I love kickoff. I was the first one screaming down the field, like, at all times.
That's the best.
Either one, go get the ball, or two, just go knock somebody, in the dirt. Yeah, as one of my coaches used to say. So,
man, was that not the best though? When you're running down on kickoff, and you got that guy, he's backpedaling, and he turns around, and you just light his ass up. That was my favorite.
It goes both ways, man. So, like, but everyone has to have their head on swivel, man. That's what the kickoff is all about. But that's an opportunity right there, right, to get your crowd into it, to get your team into it. And just for you to just get pumped up, and you just keep letting it go on defense. I always think we should be kicking the ball out. Let your defense get out there first, and lay the tempo for the game, man. That's my belief.
I love it. Chad, you got anything to wrap this up?
Lay somebody down. Cedric Griffin, ladies and gentlemen. Cedric, we really appreciate your time tonight, man. Always great talking to you and hearing your insight on the game. Take care of yourself. Best of luck continuing to develop the athletes of this world, both your kids and the others as well. We know you're doing a lot of stuff with that. So continue to do great work, and we'll talk to you down the road.
Man, I appreciate y'all having me on. And like I say, man, hook them, and let's go get that victory coming up.
There you
Love
go.
you,
There's
I
Cedric
appreciate it,
Griffin.
Chance. Thanks for having me on, brother.
All right, bro.
There is Cedric Griffin. We apologize for the short interview tonight on the Outsiders. Just get a lot of nervous questions. He didn't really want to talk, and I would have let Chance say goodbye, but he would have told him how much he loved him for 5 more minutes, and we don't really have that time. My goodness, 5.
Next time, just put it on a shirt or a sign.
Oh, fantastic!
Speaking of,
That's my guy. Okay, I'm not apologizing for that.
Dude,
no,
Cedric
nobody
Griffin
asked
is
you to
awesome.
apologize. Just like nobody asked Last Stand, the True Fans brand, to apologize for having so many hats. They have over 200 different versions of Texas Longhorn hats. And if you put in the code Outsiders10, right there, the promo code Outsiders10, 10% off your entire order. Get 4 hats, 10% off each hat. Scan the QR code right there. It'll take you to their website. You can peruse the entire line, and not just the Longhorn gear, but they also have Texas State. They have a new Southwest Texas hat. They have Rice. They have Sam Houston. They have a plethora of colleges. It's Last Stand, the True Fans brand.
And before we get out of here, speaking of plethoras, Chris, I get the sense that there's a plethora of trucks at Covert. I hear people asking you about it, wanting to know about it. You seem to be the guy to go to, and Covert seems to be the place to get these trucks.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Come see us, Covert Ford 183. 183 in Duval, right next door to Rudy's Barbecue. Got plenty of those F-150s, and actually got 2 or 3 Raptors, F-150 Raptors that have come in, which are pretty rare trucks. So come see us, Covert Ford 183, 345-4343. And as always, there's a Covert on the showroom floor all the time. Like I said, he's always at my desk. Kenny Covert, come see him. Covert Ford 183, 512-345-4343.
Great stuff as always with Cedric Griffin. Got a lot of folks in the chat pumped up, ready for Texas and BYU. You got to lay someone down at 2:30 on Saturday afternoon. That is fantastic. They do just seem to kick out of the
Sorry,
end zone.
I went a little long. I apologize.
Dude, don't be hard
He
to
was
that.
great. I love listening to him.
He was fantastic.
We have different types of interviews on the Outsiders. Like sometimes we have Sloan and BJ and fireworks and calling each other out. And sometimes you have a guy like Sid, who you said he was a deep thinker, but he was given some real insight to those of us who coach youth athletics and those type of things. Like, because it's like banging your head against the wall sometimes trying to find a way to motivate 10, 11, 12, 13-year-old young men. He kind of made you feel okay about being an asshole about it. Like, part of being a coach is to make them learn and get better if they want it to be their craft. So, like, I think it was informative.
Right.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
Yeah, and the best, what I loved about him was, everybody wants to, the physical side of everything, but that nobody understands the mental side of everything. And whether you made it to the pros or whether you play at any level of college or any high level of high school, that mental side of everything is so big. And I love listening to his insight. Just talking about that and the visualization of everything. I thought he was great.
By the way, before we get out of here, we also have a very unique Dick Move of the Week this week with Jason Dick, and it is Jason Dick for the first time. The Dick Move of the Week, he's not on the show. So, Bo, if I'm breaking this down correctly, I believe you are right. I believe that is Kurt Angle with the ankle lock on John Cena.
Well, actually, it's Razor with the ankle lock on Jason Dick.
Yeah, that would probably be, but it's you know what? The intensity on Jason's face is even better than Cena, and I don't think Kurt Angle ever sold the ankle lock any better than Razor is selling that ankle lock. That's beautiful.
That is everything he's got into that thing. Look at that smile as he knows he's inflicting pain.
I think it'd be great if Kurt Angle was in the ring with glasses and a hat on, too.
It's going to be fun. When we get those two in the actual ring, it's going to be hilarious.
Yeah, we need to have them just have we have like a series of combats, just different, we'll go UFC ring, we'll go boxing, we'll go like Greco-Roman. Like, it's just, let's just go through the series of.
Well, if you ever listen to Jason's 101X show, he has a Are You Smarter Than Jason? That's the one Razor will beat him in.
Yeah. Sumo, good idea. Yeah, super producer Blake says sumo. Those two sumo wrestling would be excellent. That would be fantastic. All right, we have gone a little over, but that's all right. So, Jason, we hope you get better soon, brother. And maybe he is going to be able to be back tomorrow for our Thursday show.
He sprained his ankle playing pickleball.
Hopefully. $9.99 from Russ on a super chat. Thank you, Russ. Hey, guys, just reading that Ryan Wingo's father didn't like the decision and said it wasn't over just yet. It's funny that Russ typed that. I was watching the mom. When I rewatched it, I was looking at mom specifically to see if she was smiling or upset or whatever. Dad did have a little seriousness to him about it. Obviously, it's not official till December, but as of today, Ryan Wingo has committed to Texas.
So, Chad, you were with Jeff, so you probably know the answer, because I thought some of these ceremonies, the hat ceremonies, get a little cheesy, if you will, but him bringing out his little sister or niece, I don't know who it was, and helping her unzip a jacket to display a proud Longhorn shirt, that was a new take on it.
Yeah, the new thing is you got to have the hats out front, and then you got to have some kind of deke, and then sometimes it's a double deke. So this was the double deke, and one of the dekes was a hat, and one was the garment on the sister. That's the way you do it. So he had all of them laying out, and he was just staring at the two, trying to figure it out. And then he goes to like an additional hat, and then get her to, and then she does like the Superman with Texas. So yeah, it's fantastic. I love when they make a big show out of it.
That's how you know he's going to stay committed. You can't have, I'm assuming sister or niece, I don't know for sure.
Yeah, right.
You can't have that relative wear an opposing school's colors in Missouri and like put her on blast 3 months later with their buds. No, you can't hang around after that.
You can if Missouri finds enough NIL money, but that's
I think it's a done deal. Just being honest, I think it's done. No matter what Missouri comes up with, Texas will match it. Wingo's going to Texas.
That is a big, big commitment for the Longhorns today. I know if you love Texas, you enjoyed seeing all those burnt orange shots and in the gear and the hook 'em horns and everything from Ryan Wingo. A lot of folks in Missouri didn't enjoy it. If you go listen to the video, you can hear the booing in the gym. You can hear the booing. Not a ton. It's not all booing, but there is booing going on in that room. So you can kind of enjoy that one if you're a Longhorn fan. All right, Bo, before we get out of here, let's mention that Whitestone Brewery event one more time.
Yes,
tonight.
sir.
We'll hit it again tomorrow as well.
It is their Halloween party. Whitestone in Liberty Hill, just a little bit further than the original Whitestone, right down the toll road. They have a whole day. Like, you wear your costume, you're going to get $1 off your beer, each beer you get. So you can get nice and hammered if you really wanted to. Get a designated driver, of course, but you get $1 off every one of your beers. Cornhole tournament at 3. You don't have to have a partner. It's Switch Holio, so you show up and it's random draw. Hoodoo Shrimp Boil from the people from Hoodoo Crawfish that make the best crawfish. They also make great shrimp. They have kettle corn. And then from 5 to 7, live music. So it's just an all-day Halloween extravaganza at Whitestone Brewery in Liberty Hill. Check it out.
I think Nice and Hammered might be the first band that plays out there in Liberty
I think
Hill.
that's the last band. It's like when they play Closing Time by Semisonic. It's got to be that.
God, their second album is so good. Nice and Hammered.
Did I just bring back some memories of your days at the Buffalo there, Chance?
Yeah.
Buffalo Club. Wow.
Some good.
It was the Buffalo Lounge, and by the way, RIP to Wes Hicks, my buddy, the first guy that ever gave me a fake ID that I used on 6th Street. Nice. He passed away this week, and phenomenal dude. But yeah, that was my first, and we went to Buffalo Lounge a lot.
Before we get out of here, Chance, give me a quick percentage. How many times did you embarrass Cedric Griffin in practice? How many times did he embarrass you in practice? Give me the percentages on both sides, honestly.
Oh, dude.
Coin flip, 60-40?
No, I was going to go 50-50, but I'm a quarterback, so I'm going to go like 80-20. I beat him 80% of the time.
80-20 you? Are you sure? Are you sure?
I'm living with that one.
Okay.
He's not here to defend it, so I'm going to stay with it.
Is that great. Because you were throwing to Roy, BJ, and Sloan against him, or that because you did something?
Exactly. Of course. I had the best receivers in the country. What do you think?
That is it. Before we get out of here, let's get Colton a poncho shirt one more time. PonchoOutdoors.com. There he is fishing, whether you're headed to a Longhorn game, whether you're out hunting, or like Cedric Griffin, you fancy yourself a pit master, which means you got to be outside in the heat a lot of the time, and those shirts can help you protect yourself from the sun and all that heat. Yes, sir.
Chad, is it going to be like the Back to the Future, Back to the Future 2 moment, when we actually have Colt on the show wearing a poncho? Is your head going to explode from all the Colt poncho action?
It's going to be incredible. It's going to be incredible.
Is that going to be like crossing the
screen? Can you please, when Colt's on the show, can you please do Colt in a poncho shirt?
Oh, heck yeah. I'll come up with a whole verse for him. I'll come up with a whole verse that involves, the victory against Ohio State and some of his big wins. We'll figure it out. We'll get that figured out. PonchoOutdoors.com. That's your QR code to click. Great Christmas gift idea. I've told you there's somebody on my Christmas list that's going to get a poncho shirt if they continue to be good between now and Christmas. Bo's rocking a poncho t-shirt tonight, and I'm told Bo may be getting me one of those famous hoodies for my Christmas.
I'm working on it,
which is good. You got to have 2 Christmas lists for me because I got a birthday.
I got to get Chance and Blake their poncho gear. Then I can start working on round 2.
Hey, it's not my fault they didn't show up to your house. I was told to come to your house, and I did.
Chance is coming up next weekend. We're going to the Kansas State game, and then he's playing in the Super Cooper Golf Tournament along with Chris. It's a whole Outsiders team except for Broke Ankle Boy probably won't be able to play, and you got a house divided, so we will sadly not have you. But the Monday night after Super Cooper could be quite entertaining for one and all. I'll just leave it at that.
That's gonna be good.
Oh man,
it's not just like one or two of the Brown Waters or the El Ticualinos.
Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of brown water.
That's gonna be good stuff. All right, that'll just about wrap it up for your Wednesday. What are you drinking, Outsiders? We hope you had a nice drink this evening and enjoyed it. Thanks to right around 100 folks that were in that Specs chat throughout the show. And thanks to Specs, specsonline.com. Get the Specs app. You can get it delivered for game day. Maybe you're not headed to DKR. You can get it delivered. Remember to check out myself and Jeff Ketchum for that watch along, brought to you by Pine House Pizza. We're going to be checking out Texas and BYU. If you're doing it from the comfort of your own home as well, check out the watch along here on Orange Bloods Live. Until tomorrow night at 9 p.m. for the Pick Show, where Bo and Chance get to show off, and the rest of us, well, we're not very good. We are the Outsiders, and other than Jason Dick and his immune system, we are legitimately